Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Day in the Bay. Now today we've got Alex Bane's championship winning EVO 5. Now this has gone from being a race car to an everyday user car that he's going to be using on the weekend. So we're going to be using our detail and pro products to bring it back to life and take off all that kind of abuse it's had from being on the track. So to keep this detail nice and efficient, we're starting with our iron decon. Now we're going to be using this on the wheels and the lower body sections to loosen up that kind of track fallout that's going to be covered all over the car. Now this is going to be hardened iron, brake discs and all out kind of rotor and grime. It smells really bad, but it works incredibly well. Now it's a traditional iron fallout, so you're going to see it colour change, and that's when it's interacting with the iron. So it's going to kind of change to a kind of pinky red colour. Leave it for a few minutes, then rinse off or agitate with a wheel brush. So now we've removed the hardened kind of iron deposits on the wheels, we're going to step up to using our wheel brightener to kind of really refine and give it a further clean. Now we're going to be mixing this with our wheel brushes, both the Versa wheel face brush and our Supreme medium and large wheel brush. So the wheel brightener is just like a traditional wheel cleaner. I want to make sure the wheel's nice and cool, but also wet. We're just going to apply it to the front and the back, make sure we'll get in between all the spokes, leave it for a few minutes to dwell, and then we're going to agitate it using the wheel brushes. So with the wheels and the lower sections done, we're going to be moving on to the contact wash. Now for this we're using our Super Sudsy Hyper Wash. Now this is fantastic for anyone that's in the business of regularly cleaning cars or detailing or valeting, solely because it's super rich. Now this is a 400:1 mix ratio. So if you're using shampoos on a regular basis and you need to regularly clean cars, this is a fantastic product for you. Just like our regular kind of shampoos you see us using all the time on these videos, we're going to be using our 2-bucket method. So we've got our soapy water here and our clear water and grit guard on this. So once I've cleaned the panel with the soapy water, I'm going to dive into the grit guard and clear water, clean out that wash mitt, and then hit the panel again with some soapy water. I'm going to do this all the way around the car to make sure that as I'm cleaning, it's getting hit with fresh soapy water. So now the car's clean and in the bay, we're going to start addressing that paint. Now we've kind of felt around the car and it still has that kind of embedded bonded contaminants within the paint. And because it is quite hard and stuff and it's been on the track for a lot of its life, we're going to be using our aggressive detailing clay, solely because we need to get this done nice and quick. Alex is going to pick up the car in a few hours and want to make sure we get the most out of this time. Now with the clay, we're going to be using our Last Touch detailer. Now this is fantastic all-round product. It's a 50-50 mix ratio, so it's 1 part water, 1 part product, and it's great for enhancing gloss, maintaining the car by removing fingerprints, dust and grime, but also it's a fantastic clay lubricant. Car's nice and clean and it's smooth to the touch. We want to start addressing how the paint looks. So we're going to be using our one-step ultra polishing wax. So why are we using this? Because it's going to do a lot of things in one easy step. It's going to polish the paint, it's going to remove swirls and scratches, it's going to give it that high gloss finish, but also a nice layer of wax protection. This is a blend of polymer and Canuba ingredients that are going to give it that long-lasting protection. So how we're going to apply the product, we're going to be using our MT320 machine polisher, and we're going to be using our microfiber finishing disc. So key to getting the most performance from the microfiber pad is to prime it before use. Now we want to kind of make sure that the product's nice and embedded in all those fibers, and that's going to make sure we're getting the most out of the product and the pad. So if you've seen any of our older videos, you'll know there's a few simple rules when using machine polisher. Rule number 1, cable over your shoulder. Rule number 2, keep it nice and relaxed. Just hold on and let the machine do it for you. Rule number 3, always start and stop the machine on the panel. So when we're applying this product, we're like a halfway house between wax application and correction. So our first application is going to spread the product on the surface, and then our second pass is just going to work that product in, make sure we're removing those kind of swirls and scratches, but also enhancing that gloss. And then we're going to leave it to cure for a few minutes and then buff off. So in between each panel, it's always nice to get a nylon brush or an air attachment or an air hose just to clean out the pad. You want to make sure you want to remove any kind of dry product that's going to embed into the fibers. So it's nice and fresh for each panel. So while the wax is curing on the bonnet, let's just take a second to talk about what speeds we're using when applying the ultra polishing wax. Now we're just keeping it at a happy medium, so we've got it at 4/8 on the scale. So as you can see, this is kind of like the higher speed when using a wax or a polish, but that means it's soft enough to apply the wax, but also got a little bit of speed behind it to make sure we're removing those swirls and scratches. So now we're finished with the kind of correction and protection of the paint, we're going to give it that final step. We mentioned earlier that our Last Touch detailer is not just for clay bar, it's not just lubrication, it's also a gloss enhancer as well. So we're going to go around the car, make sure we've got all that wax residue off and give it that extra boost in gloss. So now we want to kind of delve into the dirty, grimy areas of the engine bay and under the bonnet. So we're going to be using our APC Plus, solely because this is a great concentrated cleaner that's going to remove that dirt and grime nice and efficiently. So the paint's looking nice and glossy and well protected. We want to now move on to the rubbers and plastics. Now they're looking a little bit tired, so we want to restore that nice finish using our hyper dressing. So the nice final step for any kind of detail is the glass. Now we're using our glass cleaner concentrate. It's a high mix ratio product. It's 10 parts water, 1 part glass cleaner. So if you are in the industry, it's going to really go far. So it's going to leave a streak-free finish and it's window tint safe. So that's it for another episode of Day in the Bay. Now in this episode we've used some of our detailing pro range products to revive this tired track car. Now if you're a detailing enthusiast or someone within the industry, whether or not you're a pro valeter or someone that works in the automotive sector, you can contact me via the email below to learn more about our pro range of products. Now remember to like, share and subscribe and tap that notification bell to be notified when the next Meguiars video is released.